I used to just have no direction in life. I'd go to high school, I'd hate my classes, I would hate going to school, and then I would get home and just play video games. It's all I wanted to do. I never thought about the future. I just thought about achieving a level in a game that didn't even matter. It was just a complete waste of time. Searching for something, some sort of drive, but I didn't know where to find it, and I didn't know how to unlock it within me. And then towards the end of high school, it just got worse. Getting into stuff like drinking and smoking, and with those other habits that I was doing, you'd combine them and it would just create complete misery. At the time, you don't think about it because you're young and you're just having fun, but deep down, you have no idea where you're going. You have no idea what you want to do in life. Even when I finally went to university, right after high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had some idea, but just jumping into a program with some idea was not a good move. I ended up taking a leap of faith into complete darkness and I dropped out. I dropped out to pursue a career that I didn't need any degree for, and that wasn't entrepreneurship. That was actually through someone getting me into the film industry, and this also was another decline in my life. I was trying to find my way while working that job that took up so much time out of my day, and it completely drained me working a job that's 12 to 16 hour days, and you don't have any time for yourself, so you have nothing going on in your mind. You're just thinking about the next paycheck. Anyways, after I worked there for a while, there was a strike and I was pretty much laid off. And so it led me to another job. During that time of that 9 to 5, I wasn't too happy. However, I was getting more into self-improvement. I was doing more of the good habits. I was meditating. I was going outside for 6 hours at a time just at the park. And I had no drive. I had no end goal or business that I was working on, but I was improving my mental health. And that ended up being the most important part in starting entrepreneurship. When I started improving my physique and improving how I felt, I realized that life was just like one of those video games I used to play. You can level up. And I know a lot of people talk about this, but it's completely true. When you improve your mental health, you realize what's possible. And because of that, you unlock new ventures that you want to go down that are just so exciting because you keep improving like just in a video game. And when I realized I wanted to pursue something more, this is when I got into entrepreneurship. I was probably 4 months into solid self-improvement and I decided I'm going to take another leap of faith into darkness and I'm going to quit my job with no plan of what I'm going to do. I tried to start my business, the one that today is making me 4.3K a month. That was the business that I decided to start after relentlessly improving my mental health over the summer of 2023, being the only reason why I decided to get into entrepreneurship was exactly because I improved my mental health. And getting into entrepreneurship was the best idea of my entire life. I could devote everything into this. It gave me something to work on. It gave me something to think about, something to always improve. There's always something to do. There's no time to sit around and be lazy. And that was amazing because the time I'd spend on video games was now spent on entrepreneurship. And I could start cutting things out of my life to improve in that game of entrepreneurship. The more things you cut out, the better you are in that game. The better you are in that game, the higher your level goes. And the best part about it is that I've finally scaled to an income that is twice as much as I was making with my previous job. Twice the amount per month. And it feels fulfilling. And the reason why is because I'm telling myself to do this work and no one else is. No one's telling me to sit down and make this YouTube video. No one's telling me to edit the videos for the client. Sure, they expect it, but I go above and beyond and that's my choice. And at any point, if I don't like something, then I can drop a client or I can move on to a new industry with no problem. And also with the improved mental health and going into entrepreneurship, you've got a much more clear mind. You can see the future. I can see the next goals on the horizon. I know the exact steps I'm going to take to improve my life yet again. Where when you're working a 9 to 5 and your mental health is garbage, you see the world as like an evil place. You see the world as like everyone's out to get me and I can't improve and I don't know when my next break is going to be. And little do you know, it's in 6 months' time and it's a $2 raise. Whereas now, my life is in control of my hands. My life, where I live, what food I want to eat, what clothes I want to buy, what car I want to drive, and ultimately retiring my parents and giving them a life of freedom. That is all in my hands. No one else is going to tell me to do it, and no one else is going to do it for me. And that feeling really gets you off your ass. And that's why entrepreneurship is so beautiful. And the craziest thing is, I feel like I've finally moved on in my life and became mature to the point where I realize that everything I do in life has cause and effect. And there's people out there that are still floating by, and they're not taking action to improve their lives, and instead they're just coasting, being told what to do and unsure of what the future holds. While with me, I couldn't even imagine a life like that. I know exactly how I'm going to end up in 2 years. I know exactly the next steps I need to take. I know everything. It's all in my control, and I know exactly how it's going to play out. And if anything changes and if anything goes south, I'm going to stick to the plan, because that was what the plan was. So what do you want? Who is stopping you from trying entrepreneurship? Who is stopping you from improving your mental health? You might come up with excuses and say, oh, well, I can't do it because of this or because of that. Well, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to take control of your life? Are you willing to actually put down the drugs and the junk food and skipping the gym for a full life of freedom, doing what you want? Because it's possible. Anything is possible nowadays. You just have to provide value. And there's people around you that just don't get it. To you and I, this looks so obvious. We see it everywhere about online entrepreneurs. Yet to your friends or your family, they've never heard of it before. So of course they're not going to believe you. So you got to take that leap of faith. Because you're not going to die. You're not going to go homeless. Worst case scenario, you get into a bit of debt. Most entrepreneurs out there that you look up to have been in debt before. You don't have to, but that's worst case scenario. They're still alive. I took 2 major risks in my life, dropping out of university and quitting my 9-to-5. And if I didn't take any of those, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. And when I took those risks, they didn't immediately work out. Dropping out of university didn't immediately give me a life of fulfillment. It took me about 1.5 to 2 years after to find that. But if I didn't make that decision, then I wouldn't be here today. And same with my 9-to-5. I quit my 9-to-5 and I was still doing bad habits. But 6 months down the road, it paid off. So take that risk, because I guarantee if you put in the work and you don't give up, it will pay off. And entrepreneurship will completely change your life.